Casire. While Casire sat invisibly observing Basil's tedious conversation with Teleost, Exon approached, equally imperceptible to the humans surrounding them, but perfectly obvious to Casire herself. Exon had initially been wearing her usual human skin, a bland costume that concealed the horrors lurking beneath rather well, but almost immediately returned to her preferred archdemoness form. Exon's skin turned stony, her spine curved to give her a hunched back that seemed incredibly painful to endure, and her face morphed into having a stubby maw reminiscent of her stripeless tiger companion. With a flick of her barbed tail, Exon beckoned Casire over toward where Mlau waited deeper in the forest. Casire was grateful to have something else to distract her from listening to the Archspawn discuss procuring various fishing lures. She followed her Arch-sister immediately and regrouped with Exon and Mlau shortly thereafter. Mlau didn't bother to stand upon their arrival. He continued to lounge against a split tree, resting the bottom of his twisted horns atop its stump. I finally found something to work with, Exon said with pride. Turns out the Carry Girl is afraid of being discovered by the unsavory marching among their ranks. How does that help us exactly? Casire asked, disappointed that she let her hopes rise for a moment that Exon might have actually discovered useful information after so long of stalking Basil and his friends without success. Mlau didn't comment, but rather waited for Exon to explain herself. Exon rolled her razor-thin pupils. We'll spread her secret directly to them. She'll go crying to Basil to stitch her back up again, and he'll develop a personal stake in her well-being. Once they're close, we'll kill the girl, rendering all his good-natured help meaningless. We've been targeting Brusite because he's closer to Basil, Casire said flatly. She had tried to form a plan with that understructure. She didn't appreciate Exon upending it. I'm not convinced this will work in the manner you envision. They might simply kill her after taking their pleasure and be done with it, Mlau said. At least it would traumatize Brusite, Exon said, turning toward Casire as if to convince her based on the prior remark. Casire shook her head. If Anatase was accidentally killed before Brusite, Basil might be disheartened, but he also might find comfort in knowing they were together in death. The most scarring option would be to separate them, preferably killing Brusite at a later date. And if we remove both, we're going to be hearing a lot more dribble concerning worms found in mudbanks. Casire shot another glance back to Basil to see Brusite interrupt his conversation with Teleost. Thank goodness. Remember, we don't need anything elaborate. I can curse the idiot any time I wish. Mlau flexed and retracted his claws, staring at them as though bored. The idiot being Brusite? Casire sought clarity because Mlau could have been referring to any one of them. Yes. Mlau still studied his claws without bothering to turn his attention to Casire while answering her question. At least this would be progress, Exon sneered. Who knows, maybe if Basil heals her, then she'll start to love him instead. And Mlau, after you failed to recruit Antrima, I think you'd jump at any promising opportunity. Mlau finally shifted his gaze to her. Do what you want. I'm not standing in your way. But don't blame me for whatever undesirable consequences come from this. Casire? Exon crooned her rough feline features to her side. Casire had to admit her frustration regarding their lack of progress. She figured if something changed, they might be able to find a foothold or insert themselves to cause further mayhem given the proper circumstance. Across the forest, Casire noticed Fontame hunkering behind underbrush in the distance, watching their conversation. Maybe it'll at least provide her a distraction. Casire clenched her jaw and didn't take her gaze from the archangel as she said, Spread the rumors. Let's see what it gets us. A wicked smile stretched across Exon's face. Perfect.